Bizarre Brain Comics. Well, hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I'm Gary, your host. And this is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. This time, we're going to have a little look back in the Silver Age to this issue of Anthro. This is number 4, cover dated February 1969, but so it would have come out late 1968, placing it thoroughly in the Silver Age with a 12-cent cover price. And you might say, what the heck's an Anthro? Well, for those who don't know, Anthro, it was this, and it's by Howie Post. Anthro is a DC Comics character who was a young Cro-Magnon, supposedly born to Neanderthal parents, but he's an anatomically modern Homo sapiens. And the story takes place in the Neolithic or the Stone Age. Maybe the Paleolithic. It's hard to say. He becomes a leader, promoting compassion. But his first appearance is in Showcase number 74 in 68, before getting his own title, and he was created by Howie Post as writer and artist, and the title ran for a total of 6 issues. He had made a few rare appearances since the cancellation of this title. And then, of course, it said it was created by Howie Post. Well, who is Howie Post? I'm not real familiar with him either. He was from 1926 to 2010, so he lasted quite a while. And he's an American animator and cartoonist for comic strips and comic books. And he is best known for the newspaper comic strip The Dropouts, which again I am unfamiliar with. And he created Anthro at DC. He was born in Brooklyn and attended the Hastings School of Animation in New York City. And he worked at the Paramount Pictures animation studio, Famous Studios. He started in comic books in '45 to supplement his income at the studio, and he worked in a variety of genres for various publishers, and even some at Timely in the '50s. Then worked on many Harvey characters in the '60s, and he headed the Paramount Cartoons studio in '64 and '65. And from his strip, The Dropouts, ran from '68 to '81 through the United Features Syndicate. And so I don't think his strip was in the papers that I normally had access to. It's possible it was, and I just don't remember it. So, and I know nothing about the Dropouts, but I would be interested in seeing them, seeing the strip. It would be cool to have a reprint volume of the strips. Okay, so we're talking about Anthro, of course, is K-Boy. Now there are some of course, non-scientific, even for the time, non-scientific, non-accurate scientifically aspects to the character. Of course, he has the Cro-Magnons, the anatomically modern humans, being the direct descendants of Neanderthals. Even then, we knew that wasn't true. But most people did not realize that. Most common people, but the scientists at that time, even at that time, I think, knew that they weren't descended one from the other, and realized that they were either separate species or subspecies from one another. And you know, it has to be in the Neolithic because of some of the more civilized stuff going on here, Stone Age-y things. So let's get into the story. As I said, this is issue 4, and he and his family are traveling because they've been on the run, had gone south from the Ice Age Europe and have headed south. Presumably it's Ice Age Europe, although some of the architecture in this is very reminiscent of Mesoamerica. But even then, this would have been many thousands of years before that. So, here we go. This is a nice cover drawing by Howie Post. He did lovely and cute female figures and adequate, but his style is very, very sketchy. His inking is very sketchy, and it really relies on the color to help pull his illustrations together. So and here they are, the Anthro and his family, and with his little brother who has an injured foot, riding on the back of a shaggy horse, as they coming into this new hot climate in the south. And you see, it's in the shadow of a volcano, but it's not just a volcano. It's more like a volcano vent. They've built up a pyramid around this volcano, so it looks like it's like that. And they're coming in, and they're surprised to see everyone in this community start bowing and kowtowing to them. Then when they see something real unusual, is people on riding in chariots, and this is the first time they've seen wheels. And notice these are solid, spokeless wheels, and that plays in here. And blowing a horn, and all these redheaded. Most of the people are redheaded people, and again, that's something, of course, they would not have known back then. But first of all, Anthro is thoroughly Caucasian, right? He's just sunburned, but he's thoroughly Caucasian. And again, they didn't know at the time, but white skin did not develop in Europe until around over a period of time, but around 10,000 years ago. And the Neanderthals, some Neanderthals, we've seen this from genetics. Some Neanderthals had red hair because they had a mutation in their genome for red hair on some individuals. And then also about 7,000 years ago, Homo sapiens started having red hair, which is a different genetic mutation. See, so red-headed modern humans and red-headed Neanderthals both had red hair, but they got red hair from different genetic mutations. Okay, so that's all the science we got here. So here they're coming into the town, and here, because this man speaks to them and honors them, and says it says something about a prophecy. They lead Anthro and the family to the presence of their queen. Their queen, who is the Queen Flama. And she is the spokesperson for their goddess Katara, who is the volcano god, and all the royalty has always, their rulers have always been red-headed women, and they've never had a king before. But they have a prophecy of a lame blonde boy coming from the north who is to be their ruler, their king. So she says, and you, that is the reason why you came here safely, because you fulfill this prophecy. Then when they're being hustled elsewhere to see the community and give them some food and rest and place to rest and all this other stuff, the queen and her right hand man they're conniving. Uh-oh, I don't like this. We have to go, but we'll come up with a means of controlling this boy if we can't actually do away with him. So Queen Flamma calls Anthro to her, and she starts getting real friendly with him. She kind of trying to seduce him to try to control his brother Lart, his brother Lart, through Anthro. And they give him, bring him some new clothes, their garments, feeds him, and then she says that this is a matriarchy. The men service, or are basically slaves for the women. We've seen some of these things with many times around this period with the rise of feminism, and no, that's not how feminism works. But that's where the women lorded over the men and said, "Why do the men take it? Why don't they rise up?" Oh, because they have the goddess and all this other stuff. So, and it shows them some stuff like their trees is obviously some kind of tropical trees where they get sap from this tree for their some of the food supply. And then when the trees get old and can't be and die, she shows it. She just pushes this tree over and it collapses and falls into a bunch of wheels. All these discs. It has come apart in these discs, and that's where they got the wheels. And he's playing around with the wheels. Then she takes him in and for him to give him a bath. Meanwhile, his family are getting baths, especially his father. Definitely does not want to take a bath. He does not want to get in that water. And the rest of the family is laughing at him. And so she helps him take a bath, give him some goodies, and then really. It's really nice panels. These two panels are really nice panels, I think, right here. Sweet, and she's trying to seduce him. So meanwhile, Lart is decked out as the new king and is set upon the throne of the city. Meanwhile, Anthro is learning about the weapons they have, the more advanced weapons, like in this case the bow and arrow, because they're completely ignorant of the bow and arrow. And then the boy Lart is brought out because some other strangers have appeared, and they are to be executed. And by law he has to witness the execution. So why is that? Well, they're strangers. The only reason you and your family weren't killed is because of the prophecy. And he quickly says, no, you can't kill them, free them. Oh, thank you. So he's not happy, and the vizier or whatever he is goes to the queen, and she is not happy. So now she steps up her seduction of Anthro. To try to get control, but when she's getting all lovey-dovey, Anthro then remembers the girl that he likes from where they had come from before, Embra, and so with that and she happens to look a lot like Wonder Girl of the Teen Titans at that time. This cute little young lady, and he storms off, and that really ticks the queen off. She calls her guards. Who then start chasing Anthro, says, "Bring him back alive," and they start shooting their arrows, trying to just wound him, and so she says, has a warrant for Anthro's death is issued for the new king to stamp. Of course, they can't read their crude language, and it was just a crude picture language, but he doesn't understand what it is, and so he stamps it. Now she's great. Now kill him, get him, bring him back so we can execute him. Meanwhile, while he's running away, this other young lady quickly calls him in and notices she's not a redhead. So the redheads are on a higher social status, and she's with her male members of her family, who Clavo, and they are all they and some other friends are planning to escape the city, so that the men are not enslaved. But then there's rumble. Earthquakes said, yeah, they've been trembling. Tremors lately, a lot of tremors from that little volcano, and so we're going to get away. We've got rafts set aside over at the river. We were going to go down the river and get away, and of course he doesn't know what a raft is, but he quickly explains it. And they found where that they are helping Anthro, and they come under attack with flaming arrows. They rush out, but Clavo and his men have bows too, and they start firing back. Then we get the rumble, some quaking of the earth, and the volcano is getting ready to erupt, and because this is their goddess, and the queen thinks it's because of Anthro. And so she grabs the boy, Lart, takes him up the steps to the volcano, while the men are fighting the women warriors, and Anthro rushes up to stop Flamma from throwing Lart into the volcano. But in the process, she plummets in herself. They should have just shown it instead of telling us. She should have shown that she fell in, and the whole thing erupts, and people are rushing away. Meanwhile, Anthro and his family, his mother, father, and I think it's his grandmother, they get in one of the chariots, and they rush to the river. The others who were going to get away are now decided to, now that Flamma is gone, to stay and help their own people rebuild after this disaster. So they get to the rafts, and off they go down the river to another adventure. Meanwhile, Grandma's there, says, "Oh," and she's ralphing over the side. Next is the River of No Return. And I said there wasn't much after that. And I never got to, I think I had one other issue of Anthro back then. But I never got any more. And you just very seldom see Anthro. But I enjoyed it, what little bit I had of it as a kid. So that's what I had to share with you this time. Anthro, number 4 from 1968. By Howie Post. I want to thank you for joining me. Please like, share, and subscribe. And do leave your comments down below. Have you read Anthro before? What do you think of Anthro? Are you aware of Howie Post and his comic strip? Anything like that? Let me know in the comments down below. And remember, comics are art.